number 9, we want to, as we write our equation, we want to write it as, how much money do you know you have? Do an amount equation. What do we know our amounts were? We had A plus what? Plus B, and how much money did we have? $1,500. Okay, those of you, if you had it done, I don't want you talking. Okay, if you did it, you got the equations, you know how to do it. I do not want you talking or giving up answers, right? Because there's people that didn't get this, so we want to try and work it through with them. Okay, does that make sense? That you could have had like 500 and 1,000, right? You could have 1,001, 500 the other. You could have 100, and you could have 1,400, right? We don't know what those two amounts are. What's different about this one is the mixture problems, okay? So second equation of the mixture. As I am looking at that, Abby Midler, how much, what is the percentage rate? So this is our value. What is the percentage rate of A? What did they tell us? What percent are 5%? So as a decimal, I'm going to put what? Say it one more time. Not 0.05, that'd be 50%, but, or 0.05, is that what you said? Not 0.5, yeah. 0.058 plus, then I'm going to have what, Ben? The value of account B.
I can't read up there.
It's, you should, there's a textbook back there on, it says B is at 4% annual interest rate. So what am I going to put for that one if it's at 4%?
Put 4 or 0.4.
So 4B, is that what you want to put? If it's 4%.
Sure. Oh, no. 0.04.
Yeah, I want 0.04. So anytime I have my percentages, when you do that value, you want to keep those as a decimal. And what's different about this one than the mixture problem? The mixture problem yesterday, they told us a percent you wanted to get. Like in number 3 up here, it said, oh, you want 15% gold. So you knew you had to take 0.15 times the 4. This one, they just tell you how much interest you've earned. And the amount of interest we've earned is $69.50. Now, I had some people looking at this equation and going, you know what, I hate all these decimals, so I am going to use elimination. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this equation, the value one, and I'm going to take it by 100 because I don't want to deal with decimals, right? We could do that. New equation is 5a plus 4b equals 6,950. New equation, right? And I have this original one with the amounts. So if I was looking at this one, Emmy, and I've just written it like this, which method would you use, substitution or elimination?
Substitution.
You'd still go substitution? Yeah? Which variable would you solve for? Okay, so I got AB equals 1,500, A plus B equals 15, 5A plus 4B equals 6,950. Anyone use elimination? Does elimination make sense for this one, kind of? Like, what could you multiply the first equation by to eliminate? You could either multiply by -4 or -5, right? Okay. I agree. If you like using substitution, you're going to put maybe A equals, and you're going to have 1,500 maybe minus B. Or you might multiply this equation either by -4 or -5 and add them together. I don't care, right? On this test, it doesn't matter to me. It mattered on the quiz. By the way, we will get your quizzes back today in class, okay? So, number 13, what is the question on 13 that someone had? Do we know how to write the equation? Yes? No? What do you guys think? 13. We're dealing with money. So the first one is going to be with the number. If you have not written number 13, I want you to try it and check with your shoulder partner before you go any further. If you did it and solved the whole problem, you can start working on either page 398, this 22 to 28 that we're going to be graphing, and I'll show you in just a minute, or on the 6D6 workbook, if you're both done. But I want you to try and write this equation right now did we have? We had 15 coins. What are our 2 coins? Pennies plus quarters. Use the variables that make sense. Now we're doing value. Does everyone have a value equation down? If you don't, please check with your shoulder partner and see if you can figure out what the value. We're talking about how much is each of those coins worth. So you're going to tell me $4.35. And you're going to get point 0.1, because 0.01, because a penny's worth 1 cent, 0.01p, plus the quarter is worth 0.25q. And as you read this, it says, write and solve the system that models this. So we've written it. You're now going to solve it. And then there is a part B. I had people go, Mrs. Thompson, this doesn't work out. You can't have a negative coin. You can't have a fraction of a coin. I've never seen anyone give me half a quarter and go, oh, thanks, that's 12 cents, 12.25. No, you either have the quarter, right, or you don't. So that is our first thing yesterday in the notes that we talked about is it viable? Is it a possible solution? So could you see something like this in your homework, on the tests, on your final, where it works out and you think, man, and you check it. You put the 2 numbers in and they make this true and they make this one true. You've done the check, right? And you go, okay, this is just really weird. It could be it is not a viable solution. That's what happens with 13, okay? So, first thing you need to do today, you need to finish the D6, page 390 in your textbook. If you have it done, you want to turn 390 in before you leave. If you don't have it done today, I would take it tomorrow. You can't just have the equations, you had to solve every one. When I was looking at a couple people's papers, as I looked at question 1, I had people give me an ordered pair, not an answer. They gave me x equals, not the answer. The question says, how many copies? Your answer should say blank number of copies were sold to break even, right? You need to answer the question. When you get here, you need to tell me, oh, there were so many grams of 30% and so many grams of the 15% or the 10%. You have to answer the question. So if you didn't answer them, make sure you go back and answer those questions, okay? So, finishing this through 13, I will help you. I will have maybe some of your shoulder partners, if they got it done, and help you if you're writing them. Page 398 says to do 22, 24, 28 on graph paper. First, just a refresher, right? When we are looking at these. If it is one variable, we are either going to have a vertical line or a horizontal line, correct? X equals a number or Y equals a number is horizontal or vertical, yeah. X equals is vertical. So when I look at 22 and 24, I'm like, yeah, I know I have a vertical line, right? When I look at 23 and 25, I should know type of line. 26 is not in slope-intercept form. If you're graphing an inequality in slope-intercept form, you have to get y by itself. To get y by itself, you would have added 2x. I'm going to keep it in slope-intercept form. Some of you are not remembering that your slope-intercept form, positive, negative, and that this is the beginning, right? And if it's our beginning, it's my 0b. And the movement, that's kind of with our slope, right? The movement is always rise over run. So when I look at graphing number 26, just like I looked at your quiz that you took last week, the graphing part, I am looking, did you do the right start point? Did you use the right slope? Did you shade in the right spot, right? Now the quiz last week wasn't shading. Why are we doing this today before tomorrow's assignment is systems of inequality? So you're going to have shading above and below, and then you say, oh, this is where the two intersect. So the reason you're doing this is because tomorrow we do systems of inequality. Okay? You also have these problems. I would tell you, I would like you to have the equations written for all of them and solve half. Okay? So, write all equations. Okay? Solve half. I don't care if you do the first half that you want to solve, or you want to do the second half, or you want to do every other problem. The answers for these are not in the back. So I have these answers, and I will gladly, once you write all your equations, and you just want to check with me, yes, those are all the right equations. No, you need to think of this equation this way rather than this way, okay? So, questions?